All right, welcome to another project here. What you're seeing and hearing in the background. Now, this isn't entirely what a student submitted. I added a whole bunch, and there's a bunch that I could delete out of this that isn't doing anything. Like I think this one currently isn't doing anything. And maybe one of these VCFs isn't doing anything. Anyway, I'll talk it through and I'll show you what I did here in a minute. But the idea that I got was a student submitted their VCV rec. They completed the modular synthesis introduction on VCV rec, which is awesome. And they submitted their patch. And at the same time, somebody submitted their Tech Talk podcast. So I thought, wouldn't it be awesome to have the Tech Talk podcast with this submission in the background as the background music? Now, the one thing with music, and we do this kind of the study when if you choose to edit the Nirvana song, or Nirvana, however you want to say it, verse, chorus, verse. In our minds, we kind of get bored of a song if there isn't like changes happening in it. And it can be a whole bunch of different changes. Some songs it's just dynamics, loud, quiet, loud, quiet. Some songs it's a different chord progression or whatever. Some things, like a background like this, just need some type of sweeping modulation to change what's happening to make it a little bit interesting, or some randomness to come in. And that's what I added. I don't know if you could read this on the screen, but this bit right here, which I don't believe is on the school VCV rack. This is one that I downloaded, same with this one that's kind of behind me here. This one is it's based upon the Mutable Instruments Marbles, which it says right at the top there. It's a random sampler. And I have that running this Pico drums, which is another module that just does drums, which I don't have. That's my rack behind me. I just have it on. It's not really doing anything or adding to anything, just to look cool. But anyway, Pico drums is something I want to get and add into my rack there. So anyways, I'm going to, in a second, go back to what the students submitted, and I'll explain this assignment a little bit further. Okay, so I've downloaded the collaboration thing. Now, it'll be slightly different from this because I'm going to upload what I do right here, and it'll be version, I guess, 1.2. We'll see if we can get up to 1.10, and then it'll be complete. So when you open VCV Rack, it usually gives you some type of patch. Currently, I can't hear anything that's happening, but I'll show you how to fix that later. I'm going to delete all. Actually, I didn't even need to delete it. I'm going to open. I think this is the one that I edited. This is the one that I haven't edited. Okay, so this is what the students submitted, which is pretty cool. They've got a couple VCOs, which are voltage control oscillators. Oscillators are what make the noise. This looks like a wavetable oscillator. I think that's what the WT is for, and I don't think it's going to do too much anything really different than this, because the wavetable that it's got in it looks just to be a sine curve, so it would be almost the same as hooking up to one of these sine curves. But they got some from these other VCOs. They're coming out of the triangle curve, so it'd be just like this, just a little bit more pointier. They've got a mixer where it looks like each of these are going into. It's going into the mixer, and then it's coming out of the mix into the audio out. Now down here, this would be the first part of the project, is you download this thing, you open it up, And you got to figure out what's going on here. So this is a sequencer. It looks like it's got 3 sequences. They got 4 things going on here though. So we got to see where this is going and what's doing what. But I can't hear anything. You probably can't hear anything either. So sometimes when you download it, because I'm on my computer at home and not at school, it's not playing. So I gotta tell it what to play on. So I click this. I think maybe it's this Wasapi one. Maybe I gotta pick one of these audio devices. My speakers. I think I want to go out on my speakers. Boom. Now, let's suppose I pick the Wasapi. That didn't work. That actually was what was picked. So, then I go back to my speakers. You can pick a couple of them if you're at home. And whoa! It changed the basic wave. That all of a sudden changed. That's kind of cool. I don't know why it did that. Anyway, here's the patch. Now there isn't too much change in, actually this one's a little bit different. I think, yeah, so this one is just a note in the background. If we on the other one, I think that's what I did was I took this one out and I added my drums. But we could even add modulation just to that. Anyway, cool stuff. Now, if we click, right click down there, I've downloaded a bunch. Now, we will normally at school, whoops, I think I clicked something else. We will normally at school just have these generic ones to choose from. And they're the ones that come with VCV Rack. That's what I've got installed at school. But if we wanted to, we could download more and install those. So as you can see down here a little bit, I've got a whole bunch of the mutable instruments ones. But I'm just gonna add a couple things to get us going. Now the first thing that I added that will be on the new one is this rec. This one I added because I want to be able to record it. So when I add this over here, left in, right in, this allows me to be able to record what's coming across here. So and I might have to set it up, but whatever. That is that. I'm gonna leave that off for now, just so that we're not confused with the rec. That just gives me a button. I push record, and then I can. That's how I use that in podcasts, is adding that record button to it after the audio. Okay, so what I want to add is actually some filters. That's what I had on that other one. So a filter starts with the letter F. Voltage Control Filter, VCF is what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go with something like this. Now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things. So I'm gonna add 4 filters. Okay. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, maybe I'll pull this even over further. I'm gonna take my first audio, and I'm gonna take it off of here, and I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna take my second audio, I'm gonna take it out of there and put it in here. I'm gonna take my third audio, take it out of there, put it in there. And my last one, take it out of there and put it in there. So, I don't hear anything anymore because nothing is going to the mixer, nothing's going to the speakers. So what I'm going to start doing is, I think I did this in order. Ooh, this one, maybe I didn't do it in order. I don't know. We'll see. There's two types of filters that this has. This LPF, remember the box around it means that's the out. We can either come out of the low pass filter or the high pass filter. I think that's HPF. Yeah. So it's not. There's also another one that some of my other modules have, which is the reason why I checked is you can also have a band pass filter. And high pass filter just lets the high end pass through the filter. The low pass filter lets the low end pass through the filter. So let's see what some of these sound like. I'm going to go in here. This is coming out the mix, so let's turn this up. So there is the one that was just, it wasn't coming off the sequence. If I change this cutoff, it's letting more pass. Or I'm only letting low end pass, which is less, right? We can also play with the resonance, which adds, sometimes can add like a screaming. There we go. And we could also drive as like, if we go really high, it can turn into distortion. Well, okay, or not. So, that's that one. That one's the less interesting one. Let's go with, let's see what this one sounds like. So this is the yellow one, the second one here. And this is CV1, so it's probably, this is CV1. These are the steps through the sequence that this one's doing. So let's connect this here. There it is. We could change what frequencies coming through. Add some resonance. Okay, cool. So you see these kind of switch. If you double click them by accident, it resets back to 0. Okay. What I'm going to do, whoops, I also jumped it over to, oh, because that was the second one. Okay, the third one is my second one here. I was adjusting the wrong one at the second there. That sounds cool. Now the annoying thing is I'm turning this knob by hand, but I'll show you how we can change that later. It might be kind of quiet. Let me turn it up. And the last one here, this blue wire is coming to here. Nope, this one. The wave table is coming into here. Let's come out high pass. I don't know. Let's try something different. I feel like I'm missing one here. There's 4 things. I got 3 things coming up. This one I gotta pull down a little bit. It's louder now. Cool. Okay, well, what am I missing? I got this one in here. I got that one in there. I got that one in there. One of these I'm not coming out of. This one, maybe I deleted it. turn this back down so you can hear me. We kind of liked how you could sweep through. This sounds pretty cool, but all I've done is filtered out some of the high end and low end on different oscillators. Now, what we can do is, if I add, there's a couple things. I'm going to add two of them. First of all, I'm going to add an LFO, a low frequency oscillator. Kind of like this one, voltage controlled oscillator, but low frequency is so low that we probably can't hear it. So I'm going to add one of these things. And I'm also going to add, so a low frequency I'll call one of these up too. A low frequency oscillator has got these square wave, saw wave, triangle wave, and sine wave, these repeating patterns, which is sometimes pretty cool, but sometimes you want a weird pattern so that it's not always just the exact same back and forth, but we'll play with both of these. So what I'm going to do is, for the first one, where's the green one going? It's actually the last one. So let me do the second one here, right here. I'm going to just mute all these for a second. So all we can hear is this second one here, which, if I follow the cable, is this third one over here. I should have ordered these a little bit better. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a sine wave. I'm going to come, what one did I say we were doing? The second one. I'm going to come onto the cutoff here. The cutoff is this big knob here. Where are we filtering it? Now, it didn't do anything because it's got these little, these are called attenuators or attenuverters. And I need to turn that on. Now it's doing it. It's turning this knob without me actually having to turn the knob. Now, if it's doing it based upon this pulse over here. If that's too fast, let's slow it down. Now we're telling it to turn that knob slower. That's pretty cool. We could also, I think you hold down control. I'm going to get another one and connect it to the resonance. I'm going to put that negative. So as it's turning up the cutoff, it's turning down the resonance, and then it's going to be doing some crazy stuff here. Okay, there's that one. Let's see what one's on number 2. Ooh, this is my high-end one. So this is this one. Oh, we've got it going through the high-pass filter. High-end, see, it's like a little bit higher of a note. Instead of a bass-type note, it's like a lead. This is coming from this wavetable thing up here. Okay, so I'm going to try and do, maybe this one I'll do this ADSR. I'm going to grab this envelope. I'm going to attach it to the cutoff. It's doing something like this. You can adjust all these, and then it does something different. Let's turn this up. Ooh, I gotta cycle this. It's just not going. Okay. So I need to trigger this somehow. Let me try doing this. There we go. Now we're triggering this ADSR. Now it's only doing it every so often when this triggers. And I've got this kind of slow. There's no automatic trigger. No, it doesn't look like it. Interesting. Anyway. So there's that adjusted. Now, there's one or two that I didn't do. This first one, I might leave out. Let me bring these two together. Okay, I'm going to bring this one back too. This is the second one here. So, I'm going to grab Sawtooth, maybe. cutoff. Gotta turn it on. And there's a whole bunch of modulation in there with it. Now, actually, where's this one going? So this green one here, let's turn this back on. It's just that noise. Maybe what I'll do is I'll have it coming in and out, that noise. So I'm gonna grab a triangle off the same LFO and connect it to the loudness. Now it's gone. Here it comes again. Now it's going. So just the loudness. I've got this LFO now adjusting the loudness of that. Just regular. That one wasn't changing. This one isn't connected. See, he connected the FM. You could also connect it to the volt per octave, which might do something different. I'm not sure how different it would be. I'd have to play around with it and see. But this one doesn't have anything adjusting it. They just set the frequency and they've got it coming in. So now maybe we want to also, we're gonna add another wire here. There we go. So there's some craziness happening. I'm gonna pull this one down a little bit. Is that the right one? Yeah. So now we've got some crazy randomness happening. I'm gonna save this one, and this can be what we add to. Somebody else can see if they can add or adjust or delete something, or maybe this last one isn't that good. We'll adjust it, and then you can let me know how you added to it. So I added kind of a bit here. They started, the person who started added all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 modules. I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more modules. This is just an out, so maybe 6 and 6. But even if you added 2, like the drums that I had going, could change this totally. Maybe you want to adjust something that I'm doing here. Whatever you want to do, this can be our collaboration modular synthesis project. Anyways, good luck. Do 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 do.